the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the
And we are live. Hide this to start with. Let's put that there. There are 32 people online. Let's go back over to this. Just checking the sound is okay. Right. Load up Lanky. It's open season. Let's get some comments out. As Brendan's done it again. Everything Sweden, Volvo, ABBA. That's it. Diane, you noticed it. Right. First of all, before we go on, I just want to say that today, Celtic family laid to rest the one and only Davy Potter. I always called him Mr. Potter when I was on the bus. And Mr. Potter wrote about 40 odd books for the history of Celtic. And it was good to see representation from the club at his funeral today. And what a turnout. What a turnout by all accounts by everyone that was there. And unfortunately, I couldn't be there just due to the distance. So what I just want to say is rest in peace, Mr. Potter. Let me just do this. Yes, I finished my dinner. So rest in peace, Mr. Potter. And this is the left of a Guinness that I raised a glass to you. Mr. Potter, if you don't know him, was highly thought of by Celtic. And it was good to see representation from the club there today. So that, rest in peace, Davy. And like he would say, the show must go on. And the show must go on. And God bless him. Sadly missed. But by all accounts, it was an amazing turnout. Absolutely amazing turnout. Right, let's get back into business. Let's get down to business. Right. It was a great loss for Kirkcaldy and Celtic. It was, Susan. It was that. Right. There's other big news. There is other big news this evening. And finally, I've got my act together, as they say. John says, rest in peace, Mark Potter. Yeah. If anybody's ever read any of David's books, I mean, he knew absolutely everything about Celtic. I mean, he was the official Celtic historian. So, I mean, it says it all that you need to know. Right, I'm going to go back onto the chat on here, and I'm going to pin a post at the top. No, in fact, I'm not. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto here, banners, and I was saying daily news. No, I'm going to hide that. Give me 2 seconds, because this is big news. Big news. Big breaking news. You've probably seen it in the description of a lot of the videos, but I don't really talk about it much on the videos. Where is it? Show this. Hoopsmerch.co.uk. It has landed. Lager, Gustav. The Gustav t-shirts are in the building. Brilliant. Right, that is it. The Hoops Merch site is up and running. The Lager ones are Gustav, Lager, Gustav. T-shirts are up and ready. They're on the website for you to buy, and they're priced at, I'm sure they're priced at 1916 or 1967. News and Podence. Yeah, Brendan says we're not going for them. I love it. Lager. Let's do it again. So they are in stock as we speak. Back onto the comments here. So, yep, I will be putting, I'll put a link up to that 1916. Let me just double check. I'll go to the website. Lager, lager, lager. Yes, they're 1916. T-shirts are priced from 1916. So yeah, big up the lager. Lager, 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 good stuff. Lager, lager, good stuff. Let's get these out. Right. Anyway, let's get on to the Celtic news. The Celtic news. And I'm that positive that Lager keep on singing that now. Gustav is going to be an amazing player for him. Right. What's the crack about Tete? Are we trying to sign him? Brendan's keeping everything under that light needs to move, doesn't it? This one. There we go. Right, before we even talk about Tate, we need to talk about. Obviously, the big news this afternoon was that Stephen Welsh signed a new deal. Lanky's in the house. Wait a minute, Lanky, till I just I need to go into here. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Lanky. Perfect. You're still right. You're still Hunslayer. That's perfect. Paul Baird, you're getting made Hunslayer as well, Paul. So Paul was an official Hunslayer. Also, right, poor Jamesy must be raging. Gustav hasn't kept up going. He's got a song. Yes, this is probably true. It's probably true. Right, let's go back onto the live bit here. Right, yeah. Celtic put out today that a defender signed a new 4-year deal, and he was photographed in training. He was photographed in training beside Alistair Johnson, which was great news. Everything was going well. And then, big news, breaking lager, born slipping, you trying to kill it. It better be. It absolutely better be. Right. And so the bad news, it's not ideal tonight, actually, because we've got two defenders that are out for quite a while. We do have Cameron Carter-Vickers, who looks as if he's going to be out between 4 and 6 weeks, which is absolutely devastating for him. And you have to ask, did we rush him back too quick? He wasn't match fit. Did we rush him back too soon? He's now going to be out between 4 and 6 weeks. And the pictures have been, somebody took a picture at the hospital tonight, and Stephen Welsh, after signing a new 4-year deal contract and getting his pictures taken and then going to training, obviously the pictures and everything were taken yesterday. They'll be in training today. All was fine. And then he gets injured. He's got a moon boot on. If he's got a moon boot on, that means he's going to be out for weeks. So it's lucky. It's just lucky that we got these guys in that we did get in, because if we didn't, we'd be up a creek without a paddle going into this game tomorrow. And it's bad enough having two guys that have never played with each other at the back. I'm going to just do this again, and you can go on to. I'm just going to post it here. Also, see if that link comes up. I think the Rodgers effect, players want to impress. Even O has done the same. The thing is, the exact same happened under Ange Postecoglou in his first season. When Ange came in, there was players getting hamstring injuries left, right, and centre, and people were putting it down to the chain. Oh, by the way, Guinness out of a bottle is rank. It is rubbish. Right, why is that not updating? Let me just close this. Right. Injury CCV isn't related. We don't have a medical team like the Zombies, says Martin. Welsh is a good squad player, especially for Scottish football. Yeah, he'll do well under. You've got to remember, he's only 23. Big Ewan boy, thank you. That have a lager on me. That gets. We'll star that one. How's it not star? Let me just see. Star show. Right. I'm only going to start showing comments. Pay me. I'm only joking. He'll fail for baby Montana McAllister. News girl. Perfect, mate. Perfect. So happy for you. Having daughters is absolutely fantastic until they grow up, and then they turn about 16. Nah, it's about 14 onwards. Anyway, you'll love them. You'll love them. You'll absolutely love her. Daughters are brilliant. Right. Let's get back to the comments we were talking about Welshie. Welshie is injured. Brendan said at the interview today, Brendan says that it was just a little a little knock. A little knock. And congratulates. Um, and Celtic are obviously going to go down the same route they did last year, and not talk about injuries. Because when you talk about injuries and you let people know how long people are going to be out for, and one of the interesting things about the interview from Brendan today, is that you off? Right, see you later. And one of the interesting things about the interview today was when Brendan was obviously talking about that it was just a knock that Welsh got. Obviously, try to play it down as much as possible. He did say that Cameron Carter-Vickers and Rio wouldn't be back for a couple of weeks. It's my understanding that Cameron Carter-Vickers is out between anything up to 4 to 6 weeks, which will be absolutely devastating for us. Oh, we just had an order from Robert. Robert Osborne is the first one to buy one of the t-shirts. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Robert. The first one to buy a Laga Gustav t-shirt. The missus away for a Gustav. Yes, she is. She's away with one of the daughters. So, yeah, she's away out. But, yes, let's get back to talking about Celtic. I think one of the interesting things, I want to talk about Brendan first. And one of the things that impressed me, Pork Chop Express is next up. Thank you for that, Pork Chop. And there's another one. So, wait a minute, what's going on? There we go. Anyway, there's some t-shirts being sold. Perfect. That's what we like. I hope you like them because I didn't know whether to go with 2 lagers or 3 lagers, but the missus said go with the 3 because we like a treble. We like a treble with Celtic. We do like a treble. So get your Laga Gustav t-shirts on the website. Anyway, let's get back to Brendan. Yes, talking about Brendan this afternoon, and I watched it with I love the way that Brendan does the interviews, and he does something that Ange Postecoglou didn't, and he gets right into the nitty gritty of tactics, and spoke about how just little tweaks and changes to the way that players are playing. And he talked about Matt O'Reilly, for instance, and he spoke that Matt O'Reilly's got change of pace in him, and there's other players that can't. He sees Matt as a player that can go box to box. Baz, how do we purchase the t-shirt? If you go to hoopsmerch.co.uk, I know I purchased a .co.uk website. Had it for years ago, but there you go to that website and you can get the t-shirts there. There is another t-shirt that I want to show you. This one is an absolute belter. It's a 100% Hun-free t-shirt. So I'm going to show you this. Let's see if I can just get as much of this on the camera as we want. 100% Hun-free, human being. And then closing there, it does say 100% Tim. So that is one of the other t-shirts that is in the collection. So check out them. What do you think of the Hun-free t-shirts? 100% organic Hun-free. That is another one that came in the collection just yesterday. So yeah, they will be getting updated. I was watching The Walking Dead today. Yes, Porky, my buddy. Hope you're well. Right. Anyway, that. Right, Mark McKenna, what are you smoking? He's on mental. Right, let's get back to Brendan. Yes, Brendan talking about tactics and the way that he wants the team to play. And he said it's all good when you're pressing, but sometimes he said the interesting thing, if you look back to the first game of the season, Baz time as Brendan banned the clowns of the media. Yep. Yes, I think so, yeah. That asked absolutely numpty questions. And the BBC in that still banned. Anyway, let's move on to that. Right. Brendan talking about tactics of the team I think that's absolutely brilliant, and it shows the way that he wants the team to change. He also spoke about something. The Hurn T-shirt should be green. It is in green also. If you go onto the website, you can buy it in green, Paul. I'm sure. Just let me check. The Hurn free one. Choose an option. Size. If it's not in green just yet, it will be in green by tomorrow morning. So hang off of that if you want it in green. Yeah, I'll get that in green for tomorrow morning. I'll email the guys and tell them to change it. Anyway, Brendan talking about, and I said this the first game of the season. There was a difference in the way that Ross County played against us. The man marked Callum McGregor. The man marked Callum McGregor most of the game. Callum McGregor then had to sort of, he was shouting things, and he was still making sure that he was absolutely still in the game. But then what he had to do is the team then came back, and then that Kyogo coming back, people thought the Kyogo was coming back just purely for the way they were playing. It was actually to free up Callum McGregor. So there's little tweaks that you're actually starting to see that Brendan's making, and it's okay pushing forward, and we're dominating the game. But he said teams are starting to man mark us. That's 2 games that he's noticed it. He's noticed that there's man marking going on in the game, so they have to change their tactics further, and they'd already spoke about it pre-season, so they must have knew that these tactical changes. And Brendan isn't there. He's a really intelligent football coach, right? Football coach. You've got to remember, Brendan goes right into the tactics side of the game, unbelievably, and he will look at ways of changing things. It's where under the previous manager, it was kind of, we played that one system, and that was it. Will that make a change? There was a question that also asked, and it's probably given a big fear now that Cameron Carter-Vickers is out for so long. When you look at Starfelt and you look at Carter-Vickers, Starfelt was missing for the start of the Champions League campaign last season. Did that affect us? Did that affect us? Love the Who's with a lager on it. Yeah, that's perfect. Will that make a difference? Yeah, I could listen to Rodgers talk all day. So could I. Is the one coach that it's brilliant because he doesn't talk about the normal crappy questions that he gets asked. So, hey, I'm off to record tomorrow. We're up to Kev, your brother, yep, John, and my dad is the stage manager for it. So there, yeah, and yep, and I can't believe QFX. I could have got Base X that gig. It's 2 years in a row that QFX has got that gig. Anyway, my old band are still doing good. Right, let's get back to talking about Celtic. I'm looking at the comments here. Lanky, Mark, and Paul looking out for Huns with the spanners. Yes, they are pork chops. They are that. And who exactly? He's in the past. Brendan must have watched a few. Yes, he did say that. Brendan said that he had. Now, this is where it gets interesting for me, because I know the way. We'll know the way that their owner works, and had he had a word with Brendan before, if you remember back to when Martin O'Neill was at Celtic, the one and only Gordon Strachan took a year out of football. He took a year out of football, and everyone expected him to come into Celtic probably a year before he did. But he took a year out of football, and he basically watched games, analysed games. Martin O'Neill obviously went on to stay another year, but he just walked into the job. Gordon Strachan walked straight into the job. Had he had a word in the ear of Brendan, and I'm going to give you 2 reasons why I think he might have. When we look at the picture with their owner, his son, and Ange at the reception of Celtic Park, that look on their face is like, is this guy for real? They have to make sure that they have somebody set up that's going to make sure that's going to continue with the success that we've had. And even though the board would then go, right, we have to go out and we have to sort of go through the motions of looking for another manager, but there was no one else getting the job. Absolutely no one else. Hill. Let's get some. In your opinion, do you think are stronger or weaker from last season? As it stands now, the squad, I would say the squad is stronger. purely for the fact that if you look at Ohm that we've brought in, if you look at Yang, if we look at Marco when he's fit, if you look at the two, if we didn't bring these two new centre backs in, we'd be absolutely gust. We'd be up the creek by now. So if we didn't bring the two centre backs in, we would be in trouble because we've lost one and we've got two out injured. We're building a team that's slower. Says Daniel, we're building a team that's slower than I thought. Are we building a team that is slower though? Are we building a team that's slower? Is it just the slight change? People knew how we played last season. And if you look towards the end of last season, teams were starting to push up on us, right? Teams were starting to push up, and I found out the name of that dude. Was he? There you go. Know my name was outed on Twitter. Oh, there you go. Send me on Twitter. Where's he from? Anyway, move on for that. Brendan was honest today about transfers against the scout. Yes, that's another thing we need to talk about. He was so out as how his name was released, Greg. Brendan was honest today, and he's talking about the scouting team and the transfers. And he's basically saying yeah or no. What was interesting that Brendan said today was the fact that when you look at William Martin is his name, William Martin. Oh, there you go. We'll take a note of that. Yang's a great sign. Yeah, if we look at the way that Brendan spoke about the team in the background, are thinking way down the line. They're thinking probably a year or two down the line with players. We all thought, and this is maybe another reason that there was the change of manager, because the last manager was wanting to go out and spend 15 to 20 million on a player. And let's face it, Celtic are never going to do that. Yeah, it's William Martin. Anyway, interesting. Right, so the Celtic model, we all know, is all about bringing in players and trying to build a team and make that successful and keep on winning the league in Europe, in Scotland, keep on winning the treble, and keep on trying to progress in Europe. Now, we all thought this summer was going to be a summer of change of quality. It's all about change of quality and bringing in players that were going to help us in the Champions League. And I think we've all been a bit sitting during this transfer window going, when are we going to get these big signings? Brendan Rodgers today put to sleep. Well, he didn't put to sleep. He just said basically nothing. He says when talking about the Fraser one and talking about the Daniel Podence one, and he basically said nothing's happening. He says nothing. So he's nothing to say whatsoever. Basically dismissing the fact that he was after the players. Was he dismissing, or was he kind of playing ball that he knows that they're not going to happen? Or maybe he's went, look, there's no way that guy's even worth it. I don't know. If the masses, I think James says, well, that's good. One centre back, one lagger back. One centre back, one lagger back. Lager, Gustav. I bet it was going to happen. Right. What else has been going on apart from the fact that a guy signs a brand new deal? Oh, Alistair Johnston. Obviously, we've seen that Alistair Johnston is back in training. That's fantastic news for us. The fact that Alistair Johnston is going to be back, I think he'll be back in the next 2 weeks. We'll have to make sure that they're up to speed, because we can't allow another player to come in and not be up to speed and do a Carl Starfelt. Carl admitted he wasn't 100% fit. We still let him onto the pitch, and he's got that injury. And it's going to keep him out between 4 and 6 weeks. So we need to make sure that the guys coming back in have not had a full pre-season. Have to make them sure that they're 100% ready to go. That's the good thing about Gustav coming in. Gustav's 16 games into his season. He can walk straight into the team, and there's no issues with him playing on that dodgy pitch. So make mine a treble lager. I'm on bottled Guinness, and it's horrible. And the hand of God is a way out. So I don't know what I'm going to do about beer. I don't know how long they're away for. They're away for food. Nothing to do with the board. It's just taking time to get players in that's going to fit the system that Brendan set up. Trust the process, says Lanky. Yes, this is true. We need to remember that it's the the change, the slight changes. There's not too much. It's more tactical changes that Brendan's making and getting in the way that he wants to play. Now, you can't complain about it because in his first stint at Celtic, he won how many? How many? Do you know what I mean? He went a season unbeaten. You know, they had the untouchable season. So I think that let him get his team in. Let him see what we can do. Punishment exercise from on Sunday, 5-0. I think there will be goals. There will be goals this week, and I think it'll be. I'm going to say that I think somebody might get a goal for a third week in a row. Yep, I think he might get a goal for a third week in a row from midfield. From midfield. So, freezing cold Stella here, a huge bag of cans. Delicious, says Tam Mac. Perfect, Tam. Right, let's see if there's any other Celtic news that's came out this evening. Obviously, Rodgers was transferred about. He was transferred. He was quizzed about the transfer speculation regarding a couple of players, and he basically bombed the two of them straight. He batted them both right out. He says that he was asked if there's any update on a potential move for Wolves winger Podence. Rodgers said no, none at all, no update. And then asked about Fraser, and he said none at all, no update, none at all. So does that mean that he's playing down? He's playing down the fact that we're in for them, or is he just playing down the fact that he maybe doesn't fancy them? And let's go back to what he was talking about, Mark Lawwell and everything, and the backroom staff. He says that the backroom staff have basically got a line of players lined up. So if anything happens, if somebody gets sold, if somebody comes in for, say, Hatate, they've got 2 or 3 players that they've been watching for the best part of a year. They go, right, yes, that's your replacement. There's 3 players. Tell me which one you want, and we'll go for them. You've got to remember the exact Ange Postecoglou, when he was at Celtic, said the exact same thing. He said that when he goes to the recruitment staff and he said, look, I want a player that can do this, this, and this. He said that he didn't know the name of the players, apart from the ones that he brought from Japan. He says that he told the recruitment staff the type of player that he wanted and he needed, and then they would give him a list. And he said, right, we'll sit down and we'll narrow it down. So, you know, let's get some of the comments up. Some of the Spurs videos look for Hatate and Kyogo. Who cares about them? They're not going to get them. They're not going to. Let's get some more comments. You're having a little laugh in the comment section on your own tonight. Right, how many thumbs up is on the video? There is 265 people watching, and there's only 77 thumbs up. Get the thumbs up to the video. I'm a giraffe then, says Lanky. What are you talking about? Right, back to the Celtic news. Let's see what other Celtic news is kicking about today. Obviously, Mark Lawwell has a major role in the transfer department at Celtic. I mean, he's basically running the show when it comes to transfer with his vast knowledge of the City group, for one, being the head of scouting. He can bring in. He brought in the likes of Gustav, right? He brought in Rocky. Mark Lawwell, for me, he's brought in some decent players. You have to say, though, there is some players at Celtic that have been brought in a water, right? If that was if I forget about the thumbs up, yes, get the thumbs up, everyone. Right, Awata. Where does that leave the likes of Awata in the team? Will he be one of the next ones to go out? Let me just say, I never like videos when YouTubers ask, but I'll make an exception as long as you never say, hey guys, today we're going to, where are you going to? I'll never say that. Do you think that we should go for Tommy Doyle of Man City? Awata, sell or loan? I would say, I'm not too sure about getting ones for Man City just now. I'll be perfectly honest. I'm not too sure. I think we're trying to slightly improve our search and our reach is for what I'm kind of taking from what's happened. Right, Awata, sell or loan? Interesting. Everybody thought he was going to come in and be called Holy Water, but it's not really turned out like that. Um, I'm not keen on him. Yeah, Greg, I'm not keen. Water, loan out Murky Water. Loan him out. Get him out there and get him game time. What does that do for, with the developments that's happened in the last 12 hours? We will now not put out Liam Scales on loan to Aberdeen. You heard that here first. Purely from the fact that if we have players that are injured, like what we do at the moment, if Welsh is out injured for any length of time, we've already got Cameron Carter Vickers out for up to 4 to 6 weeks. There's not a chance Celtic will now let Liam Scales go to Aberdeen. Paul Baird says, loan Awata. So that's just my hunch, and probably the way that Brendan's thinking, it would probably to get Scales out and get him game time. But when we now have two defenders that are sitting on the injury list, it would be prudent, absolutely prudent, to make sure that we keep Liam Scales at the club. What does it say for his long-term future? I don't know, but I definitely think Awata will be out of bounds. Don't quote me on it because you never know. We might put him out to Aberdeen with the knowledge that we might be able to pull him back. Let me just adjust that light because that's terrible. We might be able to pull him back before Christmas or at Christmas. On the Bucky, says Robert. Awata only just signed, loan him out. We're in trouble this season. Aberdeen made life difficult for us. What's the likes of Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, Benfica, or Dortmund going to do to us? Scales must stay. Yep, you're right, Paul. Scales must stay. I think when you're there, Guinness looks like the Barras cola. It's out of bottle. It's hard to get decent Guinness here. There's only a couple of pubs that actually sell it, and drinking it out of a bottle is just absolutely. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Yeah, they've got the Abisto feeling now. 46 weeks. Where's that? Has it been confirmed? No, Richie boy, it's not been confirmed, but it's came from guys that are close to Celtic Park, and they're usually right. They're usually right, and it's the football chat that gives me all the info. I smashed my phone today at the back of it. Anyway, it's the football chat that usually gives me quite a lot of information when it comes to regarding Celtic. So we only have, as it stands just now, we've got Rocky and Big Gustav at the back on Sunday. I'm not even going to go into who the team might be this weekend because it's the unknown. We're going into the unknown this weekend purely for the fact that there's players dropping, there's players coming back. It'll be interesting to see how far away the one and only Alistair Johnson is, because he was running quite freely today in training. Guinness reminds me I need to drain the kitchen sink in the morning. Good in. Right, let's get some more Celtic news. Rocco Vata. Let's talk about Rocco Vata. Right, we've had Kerry Dale Forum and Super for info. Yeah, Lanky, I've never been on that for ages, actually. Let's talk about Rocco Vata again. Right, we did the poll on Monday, and he is the one and only youth player that isn't looking like he's going to get a new contract. Kalmar gets injured, Awata straight in to cover. Yeah, do you think so? I think so. We get loans, we have biscuit tin, tons of full notes. Spend the damn money. Spend the money. Yep, Desmond and that are just caretakers. This is very true. This is very true. Right, there's Richie boy come in with the first team. He has said Hart, Taylor, Ralston, Welsh. Welsh is injured. Welsh is injured. He's got a moon boot on right now. He was spotted in hospital. Look, I'll show you the picture. Where is it? He is injured. Trust me. And there he is. There's him in hospital this evening with the moon boot on. So your team's wrong. You need to come up with another team because Welshie has got a moon boot on, and that doesn't look too good. When you got one of them on, that's not a couple of weeks strain. Anyway, what I said when he arrived that he would have to give up his name as he's seen McGregor training and play. Not many players could replace Calmac. Time will tell if he's good enough to be as versatile. This is true. This is true. Right, Lanky has come in with the team. Hart, Ralston, Rocky, Gustav, Bernaby. That's interesting. Calmac, Home, DT, Abada, Kyogo, and Yang. That's an interesting team. Would you drop Greg Taylor? Yeah. Baz, a Coatbridge boy, what's the wrong team? Vata struggles big time. So didn't get the hype at all. That's interesting. There's been a few boys that have said that on the channel. A few boys have said that that's a little bit better. A few boys have said that they've watched some of the games. What? I'm just trying to read comments here. Damn, I've no idea what you're talking about. That's mad. Welsh hanging on to Mikey's lounge for at least 6 weeks. Mikey Johnson, I know that he's out for 3 months. Anyway, let's get your teams in. Oh, David Turnbull, right? Yeah, David Turnbull, definite. Right back where to Lanky's team. David Turnbull. So he's got Hart, he's got Ralston, he's got Rocky, he's got Gustav, he's got Bernaby, Calmac, Ohm, David Turnbull, Abada, Kyogo, and Yang. That's a really interesting team. It's a strong team, a really strong team, a fast team. Somebody said that the team wasn't going to be fast. I think Yang has got a bit of pace about him as well. I think the only slow one that you would say in that team was probably Turnbull, but Turnbull brings other things to the game. Welsh is stealing a wage, says Keith Marshall. He's stealing a wage. Baz, I want to get Brendan to keep Rocco Vata. He's quick to the byline and get Boz into the box, says John Shirley. Taylor is far too slow, says Gareth. But just a couple of minutes ago, there was a comment where someone said, where is it? Baz, Coatbridge boy, he says, which is a young team, Vata struggles big time, and I don't get the hype at all. Right. Taylor is used to playing. Diane has got her team in. She has Hart, Taylor, Rocky, Laga, Gustav, Laga, Gustav, Ralston, that's an interesting one. Calmac, Ohm, Matt O'Reilly, Maida, Yang, and Forrest. Where's Kyogo? That's an interesting team. Do you think that we're going to change the team around for this cup? Remember, Brendan used to do that before, but he had the squad for it then. Hart, Greg Taylor, Rocky, Ralston, Calmac, Ohm, Maida, Bada, Kyogo is fighting Irish. Most of the side have played on that surface. Yep, Baz, can you see the trouble we're going to get in Europe? Let's just wait till we've got a couple of weeks yet. There's players going to come back fit. There's players that we don't know too much about yet that have come into the team. Let's just hope we don't get Dortmund. I would take Benfica. Would you take Arsenal? I probably would take Arsenal. I wouldn't take Atletico Madrid. Let's hope not. Wouldn't be surprised if Seagrass started. No, Scott Bain. Has to be Scott Bain. Has to be something going on with Seagrass. Bain will start. I bet you a Guinness. Oh, Jesus. As long as it's no one out of a bottle, because it's not that good. Although, it's starting to taste a bit better. If Celtic spend 100 million, they'd still be in trouble in Europe. It's just the way it is. Yes. Europe can wait. Europe next year, says Blackie. Brendan was also asked today as well. He said, when you talk about the the way that we bring players in and the price range that we've got for players and bringing players in. He was asked about what's the difference between Celtic and Leicester, and and if it was the last manager, you just would have seen him go like that. But Brendan went, it's a totally different market. No pain, no gain. That's a cracker guitar, man. No pain, no gain. And he said it's a totally different market. He said even Leicester had a ceiling that they couldn't go over. And Leicester struggled last year. And he said that. He said Leicester completely struggled in the transfer market last year. So, he says what Celtic do is they have a system in place where they identify players really, really quick and they watch them for a length of time so that they know, here, Catch Baz, I'm throwing you that can of tenants. Lager, 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 good stuff. Got to keep showing them off. If you hadn't been on earlier, there are new t-shirts up on hoopsmerch.co.uk and there's going to be a free version that will be in green. I'm thinking about Seagrass started. Brendan's final judgment. It's a hard game, that one. It's Kilmarnock away. Thinking that Seagrass might be Brendan's final judgment on him. See if we need a new keeper because Bain is definitely second fiddle. Who's sniping the damn pagans tonight? Who's the new sniper, Lanky boy? Lanky, yeah. Where are you not now? You went on to something else. Anyway, John Searle. Baz did Oxo Taylor welcome from his what? John, I've no idea what you're talking about. Here, Baz, we do a night where it gets steaming live. No, can't he be doing that? Could you imagine getting absolutely blitzed? I'd annihilate the zombies and I'd get the rebs on. It would be a laugh though on YouTube. But then, no, I'd probably get banned. Lanky is there. Pagans are all out tonight. The zombies. Benfica and Arsenal would do. Do you not fancy Arsenal? Even late, I'm late. Cheers, Mark. We're not good enough. We're not good enough, but we've got to. You can only play what's in front of you. Sounds not great. Sounds a great night, Baz. Yeah, it does. Sounds a great night. We'll get the Rebs on, and we'll. Of course, you can get the Rebs on. I would get the Rebs on, but you would get. I think it'd be YouTube for copyright. Right. Can Celtic and Rangers meet and bad their heads together and end the away ticket feud? I noticed that the zombies have come out and they're trying to play Yang Lang, Yang a Lang, Yang a Lang. Oh no. No, that can never be a song. Yang a Lang, Yang a Lang. No, gee, that how long did it take you to think that up? I'd be happy with an English team. Yes, I would be happy with. Remember, we played Manchester City a few years ago, and that was one of the last away European games I was at with David Potter, and we drew 3-3 with them in Manchester. So yeah, I would take it. I would take an English team. I'd be happy with an English team. And the Champions League says Graham Hardy. The Bat City. I'm not even going to say that. Well, I'm late. Says, where did that one go? The zombies are on. The zombies are on scoreboard. They're on the scoreboard, so they'll probably pop off in about. They'll probably be here in about 5 minutes as it ends. Hasn't 20 years. Yes. Europe hasn't mattered. It's just a good away day. It's just it's a cracking away day, Europe. To think that we're going to achieve anything in Europe is we're years off it. And the way that the Celtics run now, we're bringing in, when is the Champions League draw? It is the end of the month. I'm sure it's the 31st, if I remember right. Mark. And if you had missed the start of the video, hoopsmerch.co.uk. I'll just put it up there again. Hoopsmerch.co.uk. I'm not sure if that link will work, Baz, are you scared that we get a Spanish team? Because we would visit you? Not at all. Not at all. Because the Hoops Bar, which is just up the road from me, they run a 52-seater from the Hoops Bar up to Madrid. Madrid last year. So yeah, they would do the same again if we get. I'm not even sure who's in the Champions League for Spain this year. Kevin says, "Hail, hail!" Right, for everyone that is late, the hoopsmerch.co.uk site is up and running, and the big announcement tonight was Laga Gustav t-shirts are now on sale. Get the bunk beds in, says James Dillon. Listen, if we do, and if there is a thing in Spain, and it is down this side of Spain, we'll put a night on because there's already been somebody speaking about it, and it's there's about 3 different clubs near away day Bazzy's house party. Yep, Daniel is in the Venga bus. Hey, there he is. Look, it's William. William, we all know who you are. Everybody start typing his name in. Everybody start typing his name in because we know who he is. We know who you are. Yes, we do. Tom Max removed him. Yeah, dancer. Tom Mac has removed him. The snipers are in the house. But everyone type in his name because we know he's still watching. Free Willy, right? Everyone type in Wee Willie's name because we all know who he is. William Martin. Yes, you can't hide from us. Yeah, that's him. Anyway, muted for 300 seconds. Brilliant. It's okay. The snipers are in the house doing their jobs. Thank you, lads. Thank you, lads. What a silly Billy. Yes, it is that. Right. William Martin. See, the thing is now we know who he is. You know, another one bites the dust. So, anyway. Right, let's get back to some Celtic news this evening. Let's have a wee swally first. Yes, Football Scotland are saying, the Football Scotland website are now saying Celtic and Rangers should meet and bang their heads together. End away ticket feud. It's not a feud. It's not a feud. Oh, he's back again. I know. Everybody knows my name. Everybody knows my name. So, and you're not even spelling it right. You know what I mean? I have nothing to hide. You're the one with something to hide. So anyway, you're gone again. You're gone again, William. You're being outed. So anyway, goodbye. See you later, wee Willie. Done and dusted. Right. You don't know your mom's name. Right, let's move on. Swiftly, let's not even give them just the ones that are on the removed him. Perfect. Perfect. Keep it up, Paul. We have the snipers in the house so that I can get on. Come on, Europe is important. We're the tick. We should be challenging in Europe, says Jock Law. We should be challenging in Europe, but what we don't want to happen is we don't want to get embarrassed like we did the last year. I think that if we go into the Champions League, I think that actually probably done more damage than what we actually admit to. It was a good exercise as far as the players were concerned, and it is a young team. I don't believe this nonsense that we're too young to actually achieve things in Europe. I think that any good team, no matter their age and no matter the age of the players, should be good enough. I think the problem that we have comes down to the goalkeeping situation, and I don't think that the goalkeeper was 100% happy the way we were playing last season. And even at the start of this season, he doesn't like the pass backs. You can see where he changed it up and a little bit of the adjustments that Brendan Rodgers has made. The fact that he started kicking the ball out rather than trying to play it for the back. He changed it up a bit. You know, Joe Hart started kicking the ball up front. Now, what we do need is we need a striker with a bit of height that can actually get that ball down and then play it off to one of the midfield runners. That's what we need to happen. So I think the change of the tactics should make it a little bit easier, if not easier for us, but a bit more watchable so that we're not getting hammered in Europe this season. Right. Paddy's point is good for the Rebs. Is Paddy's point good for the Rebs? Can be, sometimes. not every night. It's not really a full time Celtic bar. It's just it's an Irish bar, but it doesn't play a lot of rebel nights. It doesn't have a lot of rebel nights or anything like that. He's calling you boy because he's smiling at you boy. Right, let me just double check something whilst we are on live. So do that and delete that. And 2 seconds. Where's Willie? The big matches. Yep, Willie. Yeah, keep on just doing your own thing while I just double check this live. Oh, it's going to play an advert. William Martin. That's not too bad. Right, perfect. Could be better. Right, that's fine. Just watching that. Ajax did it with a young team years ago. Yes, they did. They did that. Ajax are they've a lot of the European teams are going back to buying up a lot of youngsters that are coming through because they can then go and sell them on in a few years down the line. Look what happened to us. We sold a defender to a Belgian team, and they sold them about a year and a half later for 10 million. You know, so yeah, it's just one of those things. Anyway, we play an English team. We tend to sing the Rebs louder. We do that. Well, he's not got his head on. He's watching Celtic stuff. Right. I want the Champions League opponents to go back to. Yes, Daniel Duffy's right. He wants Celtic Park to come back and be a fortress. Lanky, the real William Martin, please stand up. Please stand up. Yeah, I want Celtic Park to become a fortress also again. Where teams that comes into two things. And the modern day fans, like, back in 2003 and the run to Seville and everything was pre Ultras days, right? Pre Green Brigade and everything like that. Now, back in the days, the whole of Celtic Park were rocking. Has the introduction of the Green Brigade section at one end and the boys section at the other just allowed fans to just get comfortable when not singing for the whole match. And we do it to a certain extent on Champions League nights, but there has been games where you're like, do you know what happened to the amazing atmosphere that we used to have at games? Are we reliant too much on the ultras groups at Celtic Park these days to make the noise? It happened before they were in existence, and it happened. We always sing the Rebs. We always sing the Rebs. Of course we do, Paul. But I'm just talking about the atmosphere. We need to get the atmosphere for a whole 90 minutes so that teams are like, my God, this place is mad. This place is mad. Our stadium is better than anyone's on a European night. Anyone's and I'm talking about German teams and everything that go absolutely bonkers. But it's then again they've got smaller stadiums that have one big section. We need to get Celtic Park where the fans have to go right behind the ground. Is there too many prawn sandwich supporters at Celtic Park in the modern day game? You know, that was a term by Roy Keane when he was at Manchester United, and he's seen it at Manchester United. You know, he's seen that fans are not standing up as well. They're not standing up and singing as much. Modern football stadiums don't really allow it. They're told to sit down and behave. Don't stand up. Anyway, Joe Hart is going to make us look stupid, says Jamie. Interesting. When I got to games, I picked section 138. It's pretty quiet, but a few sing songs. We used to see it in 111, and we used to sit and go, is there an imaginary wall that we don't see in 119? Because people are just sitting down. It's a different modern day football is completely different. Modern day football is just completely different. George Shirley, Talbot's playing up the night. Sorry if I can't read your comments. That's okay, John. Just before you go, Baz, I'd like to say I always enjoyed David Potter's book. I'm not going anywhere. Where am I going? I'm on for more than an hour tonight. It's Friday. It's Friday. We've got the bag of cans and half a pizza. I might take a minute break to go and get another beer because the missus isn't here to feed my beer. Yes, Stuart says, I agree with you 100%, Barry, regarding the atmosphere at Parkhead. Not like the old days. It's not. It's definitely not. RP Leipzig have a great home singing section. Yeah, but that's what we're coming down to, Paul. It's singing sections. When the heck did, as a fan base, do you know, as a fan base, we went, right, if you want to sing, go and sit there. Because it's never happened before. In the whole time, 40 years that I've been watching football and going to games, it's never happened. Never happened. And this modern day football thing of, sitting down, eating your crisps and not singing, we need to bring back the way it was 2003, 2002, 2003. It's as a fan base, and people go on about people moan about people that don't have tickets and then come into the games. The ones that come into the games that never usually come in on a weekly basis don't know the songs or the words, so don't sing them. So you're bringing in people that don't have season tickets. It's just mad. It is mad. Anyway, bring back the old jungle. Yes. What's your ideal Champions League draw? Says Helen. Team from Germany, team from France, and a team from Spain. There you go. And then I can get 3 decent trips. Anyway, right. Mark Boyd says, Daniel Duffy says, cheers, Baz. Cheers. I might have to put the music on for 2 seconds while I go and get a beer. Or you're just going to be watching a blank screen. We can't have that. Tamak says, I've never met a Celtic fan who never wanted to chant about Celtic. I met a few who no longer can. Try sitting in the Celtic end for half a game. It's right. Mark Boyd says goalkeeper, left back, and the days of 60. I'm jumping. The days of 60,000 singing and bouncing up and down was something else. Yes, it was. It was. It was absolutely. It was amazing. It was amazing, and it doesn't happen enough these days. It happens to a certain extent when the Green Brigade go, "Come on, you boys in green, Glasgow's green and white." And then that's really about it. And it doesn't, even when it just doesn't happen as often as what it used to, is what I'm kind of saying. I mean, even when we've played the Sevco, it doesn't happen sometimes, Anyway, the Jet in the line at Kelly. Oh my goodness, something today must be on it. I know that all teams made them odds class. I'll get there one day. Right, we need a midfield with a bit of muscle and a bit of dig, says Derek. That's an interesting one. You missed the Bruton Old Spice. Jesus. We need. We also missed. Right, back to Derek. Derek says we need a midfield player with a bit of muscle. Is that not what Rio Hatate had? But he's now injured. So Rio Hatate was that player maybe a year ago. But I understand what you're saying. You need somebody that can bully players in midfield. Send for Bobo. Buzz, you've got all the lager. Yes. Right. Lanky. Right. Right, wait a minute, because I'm going to do something. Going to do this for 20 seconds. I'll be back with you as I'm going to get a can.
Lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the party. Roll up to the.
We're back. I hope that didn't last too long. The joys of doing. See, when the missus goes out, all hell breaks loose. Right? All hell breaks loose. The hand of God is not here. And it's okay. Who cares if it's unprofessional? I don't care. See, if you want some professional media types, go and watch another channel. Wait a minute, I'll put the shutters down. Anyway, I got a new beer tonight. If you want a professional player, how many beers is this? It's my second one. It's only my second one. The missus isn't here to get me one. This is a new one that I got. Anyway, trying this. You'll not be able to read it. It's in Spanish. Anyway, Champions League draw would be good. As more than 20, she has hidden beer for you. Aye, right. I wish it was. And yes, I am. I'm missing the cans from God. I thought Williams kidnapped him. Not a chance. More to channel. Where did that comment go? Should feature a Scotsman drinking. Yes. Better watch. Might get demonetised for that keeper. Cooler box at your feet for the next game. Never thought of that. No, because then my pizza, I've half the pizza in the kitchen as well. Have you sacked the wife, Bob? No, she's away with one of her daughters for a meal. So is that Spanish beer you're drinking? Because you need to try. Yeah, it's one that I just thought I would try tonight. It's meant to be a red beer. I'll pour something into this. See what it looks like. Well, that's got a fucking head and a half on it. That's not too bad. Anyway, that'll do. Hail, hail, troops, says Soapy Van Shuey. Roll up to the party about 10 o'clock when my beers have chilled. Yes, right. Hail, hail, new fans. We have a bit of different old days. Brilliant songs require the Green Brigade. Yep. There's a lot of good songs at Celtic Park. What I'm probably saying is, Joseph, as I said, the fact that the whole stadium, especially for European nights, the whole stadium really has to get behind the team for the full 90 minutes and make as much noise as we want. If we want to make Celtic Park a fortress again, if we want to make Celtic Park a complete fortress, the fans have to help. That feeling that our players get at Celtic Park on a European night, and every player has said, every single player that have he sounds like a holiday company. Every player that's played for Celtic, that's played in Europe, has said that when you get a good Champions League night or a European night, and the fact that when the crowd goes wild, you know, it gives them an extra yard, gives them an extra hard. I know all the songs. Hail, hail, Paul. So do I. I'm going to have a Sweetheart Stout. There you go. A Sweetheart Stout for you. Right, let's catch up with some Celtic news. There's only 267 people online tonight. It's a bit of a low night tonight, but make sure you give it the thumbs up. Let me see how many thumbs up. It's probably because the zombies are missing. It's 142 thumbs up. We have been on for how long? Even foreign players say it gives them shivers before the start of a game. Says Daniel. Yes, this is true. The Wakes, what a band. Yes, what a band they were. That's true. I mean, how many foreign players, Barcelona players have said it. Messi said it. It's like when you come out to Celtic Park, you know, it's like, wow. And how many players have said that they would want to play at Celtic? If Celtic's wage structure was a little bit different, they could probably come and play. Right. Kelly to get a penalty on Sunday, and we'll still beat them 5-1. Let's get our score predictions in. It's that time of night. We've been on for an hour. We're still going. A lot of people have dropped off, but who cares? They have also. That's actually a decent beer. CFC 1888 says, hail, hail, lads and lasses. Daniel Duffy says 3-1. I hope you mean 3-1 Celtic. Paul Baird says 3-0 Celtic. That's an interesting one, Paul. I'm going to write mine down. Where's my pen? Oh, she's moved the pen. There we go. A cup game. It's hard at this stage to try and get a scoreline, because if we go with anyone who wants to be professional as a pig in when you look, if we put Benji Siegrist, right, what are you barking at? Stop it. It's the bin men. Right, up. It's bin men. That's it. Zombies are out. It's getting dark. Debut goal. Haksabanovic. Beer has a head like Haksabanovic. It's not anymore. You must be watching it and you should see the heads that they put on beer out here. Zombies trying to work at the tumble dryer icon. Oh dear. Right, yes, it is hard to. It's hard to pick a team because you don't know if Brendan Rodgers is going to go with the strongest team because it is cup competition and it's one he wants to win, or is he going to try out some new players? Do you think that he's going to try and change? Hey, guys, what do you think about changing the stadium, changing its name? Celtic Park. Celtic Park should never change its name. If Bain's in goal, it'll be 4-3. If Bain's not in goal, it'll be 4-0. That was exactly my point. If we go with one of the other keepers in goals, are we going to let in goals? You never know. It could be when we take 4 of Kilmarnock, then Rangers will get really embarrassed. Says Daniel. Definitely. Definitely. It will be interesting to see how many we do put past Kilmarnock. I think they will. I see that their manager has started the mind games already, saying that talking about a penalty that wasn't given. Up front from the start, rescue Ogo. O's injured. O's injured. O's injured. Kyogo, Baz 3-0. I'll take 2 Kelly pies. one with Oxo. Taylor trying to put the gravy on it. Was out injured, said Lanky. Yep, that's what I just said. Robert. Robert is a man on a mission tonight. He wants to get noticed. Thank you for that, Robert. KP Boy says, he says, we still need a goalkeeper, a right back, a left back, and a centre forward. Kelly were trying to hit us on the break. I think they've also, I think that watch Callum McGregor getting man marked again. I think that is going to. People knew how much went through Callum McGregor last season. We can't afford to swap keeper with 2 news. No, we can't. Not at all. We can't change keepers this game. The fact that we're playing 2 new guys at the back, you've got a guy that's 16 games into his season, so I'm not too worried about him that way. But you want Hart to be there. I think you're right. You can't change the keeper for this. Any other cup game, any other cup run, when you had a settled team, I would say yes. I would say yes, change the keeper, but it's too important. Brendan wants to win this. It's the first one that went in, and it was the first one that he won in his first season. All right, Barry, we question, what would your thoughts be about extending Celtic Park? Like a building on top of the main stand, would you be open to that? Yes. I think you can't knock down the frontage of Celtic. They would have to. It can be done. It can be done. And understand it wouldn't look exactly the same as the way that Celtic Park's done. And I think that building Celtic Park the way that it did with steel was stupid. They should have done it with concrete. Maybe concrete's cheaper here, but I see how easy they throw stuff up here with concrete blocks and concrete pillars. The way that Celtic Park, I've put scales in the team, yeah. The way that Celtic Park is built, you could actually build a frame over the top of the main building and then make that the top tier for that. So yes, I think I would like to see it. It would make everyone that bought the Lego set over the years, it would send them into meltdown because they'd have to get a new Lego set. They reckon it would cost 100 million to do it, hence change the name to raise the funds. That's an interesting. Would you sell off Celtic Park? Would you sell off the naming rights? Tam is in the Scottish Cup. That's interesting. We should start a poll on that on Sunday. On Sunday's video, Sunday we'll do a poll because there's only 254 folk online just now, so we're not going to get a decent enough poll. Should we change? I don't know. No, I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't like to. I think ones that do. I mean, teams that sell the naming rights of their grounds do it to try and raise money because they can't raise money in any other ways. Celtic have got ways to raise money, but then again, when you look, I'll give you an interesting one. Barcelona, for instance, just sold off 29% of their digital media asset. They sold that 29% for 129 million. So that was their TV. As it's Friday. It is Friday. What was I talking about? I said Sunday. The poll. Yeah, it's Friday night. People are going to be out on a Friday night. Most Premier teams have done it. Yes. Um, has Manchester United done it? Not too sure. Keep our ground's name full stop. Yeah, I think so as well. I think so. I wouldn't like to. I wouldn't like to sell us. Like I said, a lot of them do it because they need to they raise extra money. And if you're going to start doing things like that, it's going to push up prices. Oh, don't even, John. Don't even get me. Anybody that calls it Parkers, that's 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 a young kids thing. Parkers. Ronnie Parkers. No, you know. It's only one name, Paradise or Celtic Park. Do you know what I mean? Paradise or Celtic Park. That's the only two names you should ever mention. I love KFC. Can we say the stadium with KFC? No, no, we can't because that would get turned into a meme of some sort. Not for sale. Hell, hell. Says KFC 1888. I hate. I'm not even going to. I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to go there because it is something that it should never ever be called. You should never ever call the stadium under that name. Right, let me just double check this to see if there's any more little leakages of information tonight. Let me click on this live update. Right, let's just see the Celtic news. There's a reason Serie A teams were after Stephen Welsh. Yeah, it's because they know he was going to get a big boot on him. Maybe the transfer agent says Aberdeen would be a decent place for Rocco Vata, not Moonboot. There's not a lot of news kicking about this evening. And obviously, there's a lot of people just talking about the fact that what Brendan spoke about during his interview today. Let's go over that again. Let's go over a bit about, and let's talk about Welshie. A lot of people. I mean, I was one. I was like, if Stephen Welsh really needs to be getting games this season, or he needs to go out on loan. Now he's now injured. Where does that leave him? Where does that leave him? Change Willie Martin's arena. That's, we've changed the channel name. Willie Martin's arena. No. If we're pure terminology through and through, it's paradise we love, Yes, it is. It is only going to be called paradise. So glad for Welsh. He's a homegrown boy. We need to keep guys like that. Yes. Brendan Rodgers has been giving you hints about that the last couple of weeks. He said he likes Stephen, he's in the same mold. Worried about Welsh, he says, Tarmac. But you see the moon boot on him, Tarmac, about with Welsh, I think it's a serious one, pretty much the way that Alistair Johnston had one on as well. Remember, so and it kept him out for a while, but then so did Cameron Carter Vickers. So yeah, he's going to be out for a couple of months by the looks of it. No, no way with a cell hunting zombie. I don't think Welsh would play that many games, so there's something in it. No, and if you watch the video that I did earlier, it was released about back at 5, and I asked the question, are Celtic protecting themselves for the future? Because they've got Stephen Welsh on a 4-year deal, they've got Bosun Lawwell on an extended deal till 2026, and that basically means that they're trying to bring these guys through. To me, it says that they're trying to protect their assets, and it is about as a company, you have to protect your assets as much as possible. We have to bring through more players. We have to have the next generation of players that's going to come through and do, a Calmac, a James Forrest. Now, when you look at Stephen Welsh, I said this afternoon, could Stephen Welsh potentially be a captain after Callum McGregor steps down in 5 years? I would put him the age range about 28-year-old. Would he be good enough at 28-year-old to be Celtic captain? Roy Aitken was younger. Roy Aitken was younger when he was made captain of Celtic. As if we call it, Guy Brendan. I can add another gear. I forgot the name's Burkhead. Celtic Park Paradise. Yep. My fridge is empty with no beers. Says Daniel, there's a plan for a super stadium complex at Cambus Lang. Is there? Has that reared its head again? Can you remember that? You're showing your age. Anybody that remembers back to the pre-days before the new stadium, remember that Celtic were linked to a stadium at Cambuslang, and the Whites and Kellys at the time were saying that we were going to move away from Celtic Park and we were going to build this big, fantastic stadium right on the outskirts of Glasgow, right next to the motorway. You're going to come right down off the motorway and into this new stadium at Cambuslang. Yes, yeah, how that ended so well, and thank God that they were out. And do you know that Michael Kelly actually boasted to me that he took £180,000 off of Fergus McCann for his shares. And you're just like, really? It was all about the money, wasn't it? It was all about the money with your lot. It was just all about the money. And yeah, he admitted to that to me on Facebook when I had him on Facebook for a while. Anyway, we move on. We've came so far, so far. You know, I had a picture in the paper, Fergus. Yeah, they did draw a big picture in the papers for Fergus, uh, and Fergus came along and went, "There you go. There's 5 million quid. There's 5 million quid to the bank. You're not foreclosing anything." Do you know that Fergus McCann put that money down without owning one dime of Celtic? Without owning a single share. He went to the bank and signed over the money and basically made sure that the bank couldn't do anything. The bank were never going to foreclose on Celtic anyway. It was all gamesmanship. It was all gamesmanship, and it was all controlled by an ex-zombie. Anyway, we move on from that. Celtic are in a far better place. Celtic is a financial institution now. We're not too worried about the way that people will have a nice moan about the club and the way that it's run. And it's like, we've got this money, spend the money. But you know, if we do overspend, we know what happens. We've bought players in the last 5 years that we're losing money on. We've lost money on left, right, and centre. You know, 5 million to fix, and he did. He did. You know, 5 million and there's one to Fergus. Fergus McCann. What a man! What a man! You know, and what a stadium he built. It needs a bit of work done to it now. It needs a bit tarted up, but never mind. It needs a new steel cage built over the top of the existing main stand. And we do owe Fergus big time. We do. We should have a statue of the wee man that says, John, see you after Lanky. Hail, hail. Is Lanky away? Right. How long have we gone on? We've gone on for 1 hour and 17 minutes. Right. I take it Lanky's just left the building. I need to catch up with some of the comments. If it wasn't for Fergus, we would never have such a beautiful stadium. Yes, this is true. But then again, we might have had something that was even. I'm away for an awesome weekend. Keep it green and white. Lanky, if I probably just missed you, where are you away to? You have a fantastic weekend. Have a fantastic weekend, mate. Cherry on top would be redevelopment in the main stand. It would do. It would be the redevelopment. What's going to happen? Right. Here's the thing. An hour left, guys. There's not another hour left. What is going to happen if we spend this 20 million? I take it this 20 million centre is just going to be for the women's team at a Saudi park. Not a chance. Is it just going to be for the women's team and the development team? And the inside part is going to be for Celtic during the winter. Are they going to still keep Lennoxtown? Because let's face it, Lennoxtown doesn't have any indoor training facility, a full-size pitch. And when they want to do some training during the winter, you really need that in that stadium. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that if they're still going to go between the two. And let's face it, they've owned that ground for years, so there's nothing to say that we can't do it. If we install a plastic pitch at Parkhead, no, Jason, that's just the roof needs fixing. At Celtic Park, does it? We need a statue for the wee man for sure. I think we should probably name the main stand the Fergus McCann stand. Remember, the ground was not contaminated, Baz. Was the ground not contaminated? Yeah, but it's been that long that it's sat empty now. Was it all for the scrap? Yeah, or the scrap metal stuff that was down the back at one point. Baz, that splinter, your ceiling's going to burst. The splinter cell's going to burst through your door and demand another hour. The missus isn't home yet, so we could stay on as long as we want. Anyway, Lowell would have its pound of flesh for that 20 million, I bet. The new Celtic top with the black through it has grown on me. Daniel, there's a new top in town. Lager, Gustav. There's a brand new top in town. Gustav is going to be an amazing player, and you can get the new Lager Gustav tops at the one and only hoopsmerch.co.uk. So there you go. Martin, I'm loving it. Yes, Paul, it is, and there's still 240 people on, which is absolutely fantastic. Do it, do it in. Seen a wheelchair. McGregor is getting the same as the going Beale. I don't even want to talk about them. Right, what do you think? Right, the scores. I never picked my score for the weekend. So in this section, the ones that are left, guess there's the new Gustav song. Yes, we do. Laga, Gustav. Laga, Gustav. We must do it. It must be done. I demand it. It must be done. Fergus saved us. And the Lager Gustav saves the day. Right. And there is another top that's coming out. Celtic 2. Dan says Celtic 2. James says 3 0. I went 3-1 last week and I finally got the correct score 3-1. I managed to get a penalty. Daniel says that as well. 3-1. Lager Gustav to score. Oh my goodness. Physio treatment room, Mikey Johnson, therapy suite. Changed the treatment room to Mikey Johnson's bedroom. 4-1. Hope there's a good waste of money. I hope that's not that was a good waste of money. Right, those tops. Those tops. What these ones? The reason for building there is there's mines tunnels under this part. Is it true? I'm not that old enough to remember if there's mines in that part. No idea. 4-0, chap says Guitar Man. Right, I'm going to go. Not first as long as we win, says Paul. I'm going to write down 4-1 Celtic. Oh, it's a bit of a long one. I'm stuck between 4-1. Sure, you only had 2 beers. Yes, Paul, I've only had 2 beers. Oh, that could be the missus. Or could it be the football chat? Oh, it's the football chat. Give me a second. Oh my goodness. Right. Oh, there's just been a new order for the t-shirts also. I'll get to that in a minute. But the Onion Bears want all Rangers fans to congregate in George Square for a party, depending on the result. This can't be. This can't be right. Surely not. Is that going to focus? That cannot be true. Surely that has to be fake. Surely that has to be fake. Right. Old firm days, that has to be fake. The Union Bears encourage all Rangers fans to congregate in George Square for a party. For a party, depending on the result, to celebrate what could be an important derby win, one that could define our season and get us one step closer to 56. And of course, to show the city belongs to us, George Square, after the game, Onion Bears, Rinder. That has to be a wind up, surely. Are they that mad? This can't be real. Surely. I need to reply to this. Surely fake. Jesus, man. Anyway, they've been infiltrated. Right. Use your voice. Use your voice when you're getting things like that. Yep. Some things still turn up. Slugs. That. New stadium. The new stadium was going to build. Was that not in contaminated land? Can't remember. The Cumberslang. Yeah, the Cumberslang was because it was an old industrial estate. The site that they were trying to build it on an old industrial estate, weren't they? It was an old. What was the old factory it used to be? I can't remember. Benches wrecked, wives battered. Yes. Anyway, booking the streets as you use the lavies. Yep, impressive. Right, Baz, let's make sure Celtic win. Yes, let's do the win. Right, let's say a big thank you to. Let me just go on to emails. Or there we go. Wow, somebody, Robert Osborne. Thank you. Robert's just bought a couple of t-shirts by the looks of it. Absolute legend, Robert. They will be sent out to you. I don't deal with it, so it's that'll be absolutely brilliant. Excellent. Felbaz, I meant Billy Cream and Martin. It was a Steelworks. That was right. It was a Steelworks. So yeah, yeah. There's every reason. That's probably why the land was contaminated. Congratulations to Hearts. What a fight they put on. And the Hearts, are they playing tonight? No, right. Confirmed. Only one of us make money. There is no Old Firm. There is no Old Firm. They died in 2012. They died. White's Industries contaminated the land of Campbellsland and Rutherglen. Well, there you go, Derek. Derek's probably from that area. He probably knows it well. Right, let's catch up with some Celtic news before we go. I'm going to stay on for an hour and a half tonight. We'll show off the Laga Gustav. Laga Gustav has to be a song. That's not a song by the end of the month. And then there is the Zombie Free t-shirts as well. The Hun Free t-shirt that will be coming out in green, 100% organic, Hun Free, and it also says down there 100% Tim. But we're going to make sure that they are in green also. Right. Take better care of crying cups and buy some tears. Yes, we will be drinking two the Hun tears come the beginning of next month. Right. There was also a bill in Blantyre for the millions ruled out. Yes. Right. Let's try and see if there's anything else kicking about. Rodgers pushing Celtic power brokers for Kieran Tierney offer. Interesting. Let's read this one. This could be breaking news this evening. That's is it a reliable source? Yep. It's all been about the saga, the Kieran Tierney. Let me just read this. Eddie Howe isn't going. According to Team Talk, Brendan Rodgers is really pushing for Parkhead bosses to make an offer for Kieran Tierney as we get closer to the shutting of the transfer window. It's thought the numbers behind the deal would be incredibly difficult to do, but Rodgers is hoping that Arsenal will have run out of options come deadline day. So Celtic are playing a waiting game with Arsenal, it seems. Celtic are now keen and hoping to talk Arsenal into a deal, although the structure is yet to be decided. Indeed, Celtic are aware of Arsenal's wish to offload the player. It is believed his price could lower towards the back end of the window. However, Rob is desperate to unite with his former charge, having also tried to sign Kieran Tierney as Leicester boss. Still understood that he's asking his Celtic bosses to negotiate terms with Arsenal for Kieran Tierney. Interesting. Interesting. Kieran Tierney back at Celtic. Brendan wants him back. Surely not. We'd have to make another t-shirt. Greg Taylor's panicking over the Kieran Tierney gossip. I don't think Greg Taylor would panic, actually. I think Greg would love it to have Kieran back because Kieran would help bring him up another level. You've got to remember the level that Greg Taylor was at when he first came to Celtic. And Tierney could drop his wages easy. Could do. I take it it's all went quiet with the fact that he might have went to Spain. That's obviously dropped out the window. La 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 la. That was a good one. Kieran Tierney song. Yeah, it was brilliant back in the day. But that has just came out tonight, and that is on the CelticStar.com. They've just released that. So they're pretty spot on with some of their stuff. Team Talk have been talking about it. Team Talk website. So it looks like Brendan Rodgers in the background is still pushing to try and get some players in. Baz, newsflash, Brendan's wanting KT loan. We'll see what happens. They've spelt colour wrong. Hun-free t-shirt. Have they? See, I should have proofread that one. It got proofread as well. It wasn't with me though. So they have. It's the American spelling. That'll get sorted. That'll get sorted. If you have bought the t-shirt, I'll get that sorted and get another one sent out to you. And I'll check that later. So don't buy the Hun-free ones just yet, as there is a spelling mistake on it. And I'll get that sorted this evening. So hopefully that it's done and dusted before they are sent out, if anyone's bought them tonight. Anyway, Kieran would have to take a massive drop in his wages. Yes, he would. But it seems that Brendan in the background doesn't want to talk about players' loan deals, not what we need. I don't think it's a loan deal, Paul. I think it's the fact that he actually wants to go out and buy. From what I'm reading there, I don't think it's going to be a loan deal. Arsenal want to offload the player. His price could lower towards the back end of the window. So if we can get Kieran Tierney, would you spend 20 million in 1916 at the price of the tops? Would you spend 20 million on Kieran Tierney to bring him back to Celtic? Would you spend 18 million? Would there be a sell on? Would there be a sell on? So buy Tierney for 15 million, make him great again and sell him for another 25. I'll get my coat, says Tam Mac. And on that one, nope, said Alan Woods. Not a chance. Not a chance. The tops, I'll need to go to the website and just make a few adjustments to that one that's on. So just there. Morella signed a contract with who? Does that mean I've got a pile of t-shirts with a misspell? No, the t-shirts aren't printed yet. There was only got the one printed. Two printed. This one and that one. So don't worry about that. I wouldn't do that. I'm not that crazy. We won't pay that. Not a chance. It says we would never spend that kind of money on Tierney. The wages are not a problem. I think Kieran would definitely drop it. Look, our wage structure, I think they would bring in Tierney and put him on 60 grand a week. Easily put him on 60 grand a week. That's blasphemy. We have enough injured defenders, sadly. Who's Morelos? Exactly. Who's Morelos? Right. There is not a lot of Celtic news kicking about, other than the fact 10 million maybe, says Mark. He's injury prone, says Soapy. Let's see if there's anything else kicking about. Celtic latest. Nah, it's just all stuff about it today. We have been on for an hour and an hour and 32 minutes. We're all acting like Burnaby doesn't exist. This is very true. This is very, very true. Your cupboard. What's in my cupboard? Nothing in my cupboards. Dead bodies, zombies. Right. Stay safe. Thanks for another good evening. Baz, hail. I'm going out for a beer. Daniel, I'm going out for a beer also, because we went on for an hour and a half. It has been absolutely fantastic tonight. I am going with a scoreline of 4-1 on Sunday. I'll see you tomorrow morning for the early morning Celtic news. Baz, he will take 50. I'll take 50. What? 50. What idea what you're talking about. See you all later, guys. Will be the morning news video. I'm not sure if it'll be a video in the afternoon tomorrow, and then there'll be a video Sunday morning, Sunday news morning, and then there'll be the live on Sunday, which is always a cracker, always a good on a Sunday. So on that note, have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans all around the world. And remember, check out the hoopsmerch.co.uk site.
Lit. Roll up to the party. Roll up.